running 2 minutes late, but we're here. We're ready to go, and it's time for some side splits and hip mobility. Welcome back, everybody. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side splits and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, a little easier to stay consistent with. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to begin with some hip cars. All right. They look like this. We're going to use our muscles to lift our bodies into these crazy positions so that we get stronger and more mobile at the same time. And it starts with lifting that knee up in front. Then we're going to point that knee over that way. Boom. Try to keep the hips in more or less the same spot and make all the movement happen from this joint right here. And once you've opened it up, see if you can lift that knee up just a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. And we're going to rotate. Bring the knee so that your quads are pointing forward. And then we're gonna keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Bring that knee down, lift the ankle up. Ooh, keep going until your hamstrings are going. Nope, nope, and you're about to cramp up. Whew. Then we're gonna bring the leg down and back. All right. So we're going from this position to this position. When the leg is down and back, we're flexing the hamstrings, we're flexing the glutes, we're feeling the stretch in the front, and that is 1 rep. We're gonna do 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side, and then we're gonna reverse it, and we're gonna talk about that later. Let's go. High knee, open, ankle up some more, down and back, that's one. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's two. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's three. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's four. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's five. High knee, open, ankle up some more, down and back, that's six. High knee, open, ankle up some more, down and back, that's seven. Oh, if it ever gets crazy tiring, you can feel free to take a break. If your balance is struggling, feel free to grab onto a wall, hold on to something so that you can focus on the movement. All right, high knee, open, ankle up some more, down and back, that's eight. I'm off balance. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's nine. Last one. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 10. Whew, that is 10 hip cars on the left side. Do a little dance, do a little shake, do a little wiggle, relax some muscles, and let's get ready to switch to the other side. Hi, hello. Okay, let's continue. Other leg, high knee. Open up that hip, rotate, bring the knee and the ankle to the same level. Then keep going, bring the knee down, bring the ankle up, oof, bring the leg down and back. That is 1 rep. We got 9 more. Let's go, high knee, open, ankle up some more, down and back, that's 2. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 3. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 4. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 5. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 6. Oh, take a break if you need it. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 7. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 8. 2 more. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 9. Last one. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 10. Whew. Ah, those are some hip cars. We've done the forward direction. Now we're going to go ahead and reverse it and do 10 more reps on each leg. All right? Take a couple seconds, do a little dance, do some salsa, and chill. Breathe, relax. All right. Next, when we go in reverse, I want you to focus on starting with this back leg. We're going to flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, lift that leg up a little bit behind us. Feel the stretch in the hip. Then we're going to lift that leg up to the side. Get the knee to the ankle, more or less horizontal. Then we're going to do this. We're going to rotate the knee down, lift the ankle up. Then we're going to do the opposite. Bring the ankle down, lift the knee up. Then we're going to bring that leg forward to finish. All right? We're going to do 10 of those on each side. And it's time to begin. Core tight, stand up nice and tall, and let's go back. Lift the leg up to the side, rotate the ankle up, rotate the ankle down, knee. That's one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 2, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 3, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 4, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 5. Keep going, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 6, back, side, ankle, ankle, knee, that's 7, keep going, back, side, ankle, ankle, 8, back, side, ankle, ankle, 9, last one, back, side, ankle, ankle, 10. Oh. I like to lose balance on the last one, mostly because once I say the word 10, I can just relax, right? That's how that works, right? Let's continue. Got one more side to do. Shake out your legs, shake out your hips, focus. Use your feet to grip into the floor to help you stay stable. And let's go. Core tight, stay strong. Let's finish this up. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 1. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 2. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 3. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 4. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 5. Did I say 5 already? Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 6. One more, let's go. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee, that's 7. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. Remember, everybody, the reason why we're doing this is because we're trying to flex our muscles. We're trying to lift our leg, get them into these crazy angles as high as you can. That's 9. Last one. Back. Oh, off balance. Ah, recovered. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 10. Whew. When you use your strength, when you use your muscles to pull yourself into these crazy positions, no matter how painful, how uncomfortable, how off balance you are, you're building strength, you're building control, getting into those new positions. And when you have control, you own it, and it's yours. All right. Those were our hip cars. That's our first warm up exercise. I've seen a lot of comments come in today. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, Trust says hip cars. Yes, those are what those moves are called. CARS is an acronym for controlled articular rotations, and the S is just plural. There's just a little tiny S, but the C and the A and the R are big letters. Cool, cool. All right, that's our first warm up exercise. We're gonna continue. We're gonna do some elephant walks. But before we do that, since there are a lot of people in now, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side splits and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to put ourselves through as we stretch a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, a little bit easier to stay consistent with. Because at the end of the day, consistency is the only thing that matters, right? All right, let's go. Second warm up exercise. Oh, hit follow, hit subscribe. Now, let's go get into elephant walks. Second warm up exercise. I want you to fold at the hips. Slowly bring the belly button down towards the ground. Wee. And at some point, maybe you'll feel your back is kind of tense. If you want, you can just chill, relax, breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Relax. Whew. We want to feel this stretch mostly in our hamstrings. All right. I want you to bend one knee, and I want you to straighten out the other leg. So bent leg, straight leg. I want you to fold that belly button down as low as you can get. If you're stuck a little bit higher up, that's absolutely fine. It's part of the process. Everybody has to be somewhere where we begin, right? Try to bring your belly button down as low as you can, and we're going to switch. Boom. The knee that was straight is now bent. The leg that was bent is now straight. I'm pretty sure I just said that exact thing. Anyways, keep switching from side to side. Switch. Oof. Switch. Switch some more. Keep switching. Ooh. And keep going. There's not an exact number of these we're trying to do. I just want you to get to a point where suddenly you feel like, hey, these weren't so bad. Maybe they started a little bit rough. Maybe they started a little bit intense. Maybe you were grunting and groaning a little bit at the beginning. But now
things are feeling better, more okay. Everything's all right. And once you do feel that way, we're gonna go a little bit harder. We're gonna get a little difficult, a little bit more difficult. Focus on bringing your belly button down towards the ground just a little bit more. And then keep going. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Pop into a little bit of a squat, and we're done. Come on back up into standing. That is our second warm-up exercise. Hopefully, you're feeling your hamstrings getting a little bit more mobile. They might be, tired. They might be tense. Maybe they don't like that you just did that. But hopefully, you found yourself folding a little bit deeper as we went. Cool. Take a couple seconds, catch your breath, and let's get into warm-up exercise number 3. We're gonna do some thoracic rotations. The thoracic spine is basically just under your neck and basically about to your belly button. All right. That part of your spine is designed to move, designed to bend. You will notice that you do all your slouching from that part of the spine. All right. And the opposite. If you can back bend, which you can't do very well, that also comes from the thoracic spine. Cool. What we're going to do is some rotation and get a little bit of mobility for that part of the spine. What I want you to do is get back into the same position we were just in, where this leg is bent, this leg is straight. We're folding our belly buttons down towards the ground. Then I want you to take your hand from the bent leg side. I want you to reach across to the straight leg. I want you to push off this shin bone as low as you can, because that'll make you a little bit more folded forward. And open up. Stick your other arm up into the air. Inhale. Breathe. Relax in this position for a half second. Rotate your neck, look at that hand, and I want you to breathe one more time, but this time on the exhale, I want you to reach back over your shoulder. Ready? Inhale, exhale, and reach. Whew, that is half a rep. We gotta do the other side. That's one. All right. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Look at the hand. Neck is rotated. Inhale, exhale, and reach. That is one rep. We're doing 5 of these in total. Let's keep going. Recap. Bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open, inhale, look at the hand, breathe. Exhale and reach. That's 2. And 2. Make sure that you're really exhaling on that reach. Make it nice and loud and audible so that you prove to yourself you're extrally exhaling while you reach. When you exhale, you let a whole bunch of pressure go in your chest. And when you let that pressure go, it's easier to rotate. All right, keep going. I think that was 3. We got 2 more, 4 and 5. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Inhale, exhale, reach. That's 4. Keep going. Other side. That's 4 again. The last one. 5. And 5. Woo! Hopefully your spine is feeling a little looser. Might feel a little bit of tension, might feel a little tightness, so might not be moving super gracefully and easy right away. But hopefully you reached a little further each time you went, and now your shoulders are tired. Don't worry about your shoulders. We don't need them for much of anything else for the rest of the show. So they'll just be tired for a little bit, and then once you've relaxed, everything will be cool again. All right. We're gonna move on into our 4th and final warm-up exercise. It's called the Cossack switch. I'm gonna scoot back away from the camera to demonstrate it. You don't have to jump right in. Take a break, shake it out, get chill, relax, do some dancing, and let me show you what we're doing. All right. We're going to drop into a deep squat on one leg, and we're going to extend the other leg out like we're doing a side split. All right. From here, we're going to scoot our butts over that way. Boom. Mirror what we were just doing. We're going to try our best to sink a little bit into the stretch, and then we're going to come back. Boom. For most of us, our ankles or knees or hips are not going to be super willing or ready to do those things. So let's warm up for our warm up together. I want you to come back into standing. I want you to pop into a little bit of a squat and come on down to the ground. Whew. Take a couple seconds, chill, breathe, find a nice comfortable position to get into. If your heels are off the ground right now, that's perfect. When your knees come forward, your heels are up off the ground, you're going to get a nice intense stretch in your Achilles tendon and in your calves. We want that. That's good. And
I want you to bring your chest down to your knees like you're doing a little cannonball. You're about to jump into a pool. All right. Get nice and small and compact in. Whew. Breathe. Oh, chill. Relax. Cool. All right. From here, we're going to add a little bit of movement. We're going to get the knees, the ankles, the hips moving a little bit more. I want you to try your best to bring one knee down towards the ground. Try not to smash your knee into the ground. Try to do it with a little bit of control. And then bring it back up. Boom. Other leg. If you can't bring it all the way down without sort of falling forward, feel free to not go as far. Do somewhere in the middle and then come back. Cool? Keep on going. Once to the right, once to the left, once to the right, once to the left. How many of these you do is not that important. We're just adding a little bit of movement in. Okay? Next, we're going to try and open up our hip. Point that knee out that way. Bring it back in. Other hip. Boom. Bring it back in. Bring both out at the same time. Pose. Pretend you're looking cool and bring those legs back in. Hopefully, your ankles, your knees, your hips have gotten a little bit more movement, are feeling a little bit more confident because we're going to get into some Cossack switches right now. I'm going to scoot over to this corner so that you can see me do the movement. You don't have to move because I can't see you, right? From here, we're going to stick our hands straight down into the ground. All right, we're going to extend one leg out to the side for the side split looking position. We're going to plant this heel on the ground for stability. And depending on how comfortable you are with this movement, you can get as low as you like. You can stay nice and tall, nice and high up. You can drop a little lower if you like. You can drop super ultra low if you want. It is completely up to you. Next, we're going to move our butts that way. All right, stick your hands down on the ground. Give yourself a little bit of support. Walk on over to the other side, and boom, once you are there, sink a little deeper into that stretch. Come on back. Whew. That is one rep. We're doing 10 of these. So we got 9 more. Keep going. Across. And across. That's 2. If you feel like you don't need to put your hands down and you can continue without, feel free to try it without. If you can't do it, stick with your hands on the ground for support. All right? I think this is 4. If you're ready for something more advanced, you can try to stand up a little straighter. Most of us so far have been leaning really far forward because that's the position where our hands would be able to reach the ground. But if you try to really stand up straight, stick your hands out in front of you, that will add some more nuance to this Cossack switch. You'll feel it a little bit more in your low back because it's working so hard to keep you upright. I think this might be 6, but I can't remember because I was talking too much. But we'll pretend this is 6. So you might have done 11 at the end of this. From here, we're going to change it up. We're going to make it a little easier on your knees. All right? I want you to come up a little bit. I want you to slide your butt over. And I want you to sink down. And then up. And then across. And then down. 7. Up. Across. Down. Up. Across. Down. The reason why we're sliding from side to side is to change up the way your knee is feeling that pressure. If you're feeling a lot of tension, doing this side to side as low as possible, coming up a little bit will help take some of that pressure off your knees. Cool? All right, where we at? We got 9 and 10, 2 reps left. If you want to take it up another level of difficulty, let's do some squats. All right, I want you to power through that. Squatting leg, come back into standing, slowly come down on the other side. Chill, sink into it, and then power through. Boom. That's 9. Keep going. Last one. Come on down. 10 and up. And then come on down, sink into it, get nice and low to the ground, and let's get ready to power through. Boom. That is 10 Cossack switches, Cossack slidey things, Cossack squats. We are done with our warm up. Whew, if you've never been on the show before, don't let that sentence scare you. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live hip mobility and side splits stretching. And what we've done so far is just gotten our heart rates up, gotten our muscles loosened up, gotten some of those joints to start moving so that we can get the most out of our stretches. All right. So if you like side splits, if you like hip mobility, if you like the idea of consistency, which I didn't really tell you about this go around, make sure to hit follow, subscribe, and keep coming back. We're live every single day at 9 p.m. Cool. All right. Hip mobility. Sorry, first stretch. Hamstring stretch. Before you guys continue, I want you to grab a little bit of padding for your knee. All right. Doesn't have to be fancy. I have some foam flooring stuff for exercise, but you just need a little bit of foam. Could be a flip flop, could be old sneakers, could be decorative pillow, couch cushion. It could be an old dirty towel that you roll up and you stick under your knee. Cool.
From here, we're going to drop our knees straight down onto that cushion. And I want you to get into a situation where this leg that's down, the knee up to your hips up to your shoulders up to your head is in a nice straight line. Okay? I don't want too much of this or too much of this, or I don't want you to be leaning super far forward and your leg is super far back. All right? Straight up and down. Cool? From here, we're going to extend one leg out in front. All right? We're still maintaining that straight up and down. And we're going to take our belly button. We're going to fold it down to the thigh. All right? It looks like this. As soon as it gets stuck, we're just going to breathe. We're going to chill. We're going to relax. Inhale. Relax. Your body drape over that leg. Chill. Sink into your stretch. One more. Big inhale. Relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Okay? What we're doing right now is not focused on the upper back, neck, mid back, or anything like that. The whole stretch comes from the angle of your hips. All right. So when I tell you to relax, I genuinely mean everything above your belly button should be just relaxed, should be flopping over. Cool. From here, we're going to add some movement. I want you to bend the knee up, bring it up. I want you to try to bring your chest down to that leg. And then I want you to slowly straighten that leg back out. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. See if over the next couple of reps you can bend the knee less, and you can still get your chest down to it, and you can get a little bit more comfortable being deeper in the stretch. Once you've done about 5 of those, we're going to try and get a little deeper into our stretch overall. All right. What we're going to do next is called a big inhale, exhale, and fold. We're going to take a big breath in, big inhale. We're going to slowly exhale that air out, and while we exhale, we're going to fold the belly button down to the leg. We're going to really focus on trying to bring the belly button down. Cool? Let's go. Big inhale. Slow exhale and fold. Get as low as you can. Feel how tight your hamstrings are. Take note of where you're at approximately so you can come back to this in a second. And we're going to inhale. Relax. Let your body drape over that leg. One more inhale. Relax. Let your body drape over that leg. And we're going to move. Ready? Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. See if you can get a tiny bit deeper into your forward fold. And once you've done about 5, we're going to go ahead and try to get a little bit deeper. All right, big inhale, exhale, and fold. Let's go. Big inhale. Slow exhale and fold. See if you can get your belly button down just a little bit more, and inhale, relax. Let your body drape over that leg. One more inhale. Relax. 5 more of the movement. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. 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 And once you're done with those, you're ready to stop. We're going to hold it for 30 seconds. All right, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. If your knee is feeling a little achy, is feeling a little uncomfortable, you can give it a slight bend. That will take pressure off of the knee. It'll also reduce the intensity of the hamstring stretch. If you're going to bend the knee, really try to focus on bringing your chest down to that thigh. And then, once you've really maxed out chest to thigh, you can slowly try to straighten everything back out again so that the knee pressure, that knee sensitivity comes at the end instead of throughout the whole entire thing. Cool? All right. I forgot what I counted to. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 1, 0. That is our hamstring stretch. Whew. Whew. That's one leg. We got to do the other one. Let's go. Bring your knees down to the ground. Remember, we're trying to get that nice and straight line. Let's extend one leg out in front. Still maintaining that nice and upwards straight line. We're going to fold. Bring that belly button down towards the leg. Fold, 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 fold. Fold some more. Fold again. As soon as you get stuck, We're going to inhale, relax. Ready? Inhale. Relax. Let your body drape over that leg. Inhale. Relax. Let your body drape over that leg, and we're going to add some movement. You ready? Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. 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 Hopefully, you found you're able to get or stay in that position a little bit more comfortably now. And that means it's time for us to get a little deeper. All right, big inhale, exhale, fold. Let's go. Big inhale. Slowly exhale and fold. Oh, once you got in a little bit deeper, we're going to inhale, relax. Inhale. Relax. One more. Inhale. Relax. Oh, man. All right. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 3, 4, 5. These don't have to be fast. They don't have to be explosive. We're just moving and trying to make sure our muscles remember what folding is supposed to actually feel like. All right. I can't remember how many of the inhale exhale folds we've done, but I think we have one more. So we're going to do one more. We're going to do the big inhale, exhale, and fold. Ready? Big inhale. Slow exhale and fold. Fold, 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 fold. Come on down. Bring the belly button low and inhale. Relax. One more inhale. Relax. And chill. Knee bent, chest down, straightens. Do as many as you want. Take your time. If you feel like they're not useful for you, you don't feel like you're getting any deeper, feel free to skip them. All right? I find that the intentional folding helps me to focus on bringing my chest down, helps me to remember what is supposed to be happening. The chest is coming down to the knee, and if that helps you, great. If it doesn't, you can skip it. Cool? All right. We're hanging. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26. My hamstrings are ultra tight today. They've been progressively getting tighter and tighter over the last couple of days. Might be a reason for me to dial down the intensity for a couple of days, but we shall see. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. I did go for a small run today. Maybe that's why my hamstrings are feeling extra intense. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. This is a good time to remind you that you don't have to come in with 100% energy, effort every single day. This is about consistency, and consistency is not about 100% every single day. It's coming in with what you got. All right. Some days will be 20% days. Some days will be 30% days. Some days will be 70. Some days will be 100. And for me, today is probably like a 45. All right, we're done. I don't know how much longer I could pretend to not count, but that's probably about the right time. Let's move on. That was our first stretch, our hamstring stretch. We're going to move on into our butterfly stretch, our second stretch. All right. What I want you to do is sit with your butt down against the wall. And I want you to rest your low back, your shoulders, your head up against the wall as well, so that you got this nice, relaxed posture, and you're just leaning against the wall, feeling the nice, cool temperature of the wall. Hopefully, we're going to get into position for butterfly stretch. Oh man, we're gonna pull our feet together. We're gonna pull them into our groin, and we're going to get into this starting position. Cool. The goal of this stretch, the butterfly stretch, is to stretch out your groin muscles right here in the center of your body. And the way we do that is by bringing the knees down deeper into the ground. What I want you to do is try to straighten yourself whenever you get the chance. I want you to use your glutes. I want you to use your outer thigh muscles. I want you to pull your legs open using your own muscles first. And see how deep you can open it up. All right? Take a couple seconds and work on bringing your legs down to the ground. If you're new to the show and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Ken, this is crazy. Focus on just two things, all right? One, the groin stretch right here in the inner thighs. If the stretch is getting more intense, you're probably doing the right thing. Two, if your knees have gone down, into the ground just a little bit more, you're probably also doing the right thing. You don't have to worry about the other details. If you're new to this, you're probably going to be flexing a whole bunch of different muscles all throughout your legs, and it will be very confusing because you haven't figured out how to isolate them. Don't worry about those details. Just continue. Cool. We're going to move on to the next step. I want you to take your hands. I want you to apply a little bit of pressure right here, just inside of your knees. And I want you to try your best to push straight down. Cool? I want you to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. On the exhale, I want you to see if you can push a little bit harder and bring the knees a little closer to the ground. All right? Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to hold on for 30 seconds and keep pushing. 29, 28, 27, 26. If you've been flexing your glutes, you've been flexing your outer thighs this whole time, feel free to relax them at this point. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 15, 14. Remember, on the exhale, see if you can push your knees down a little deeper into the stretch. If anything feels crazy, painful, feel free to stop. That's not how it's supposed to feel. You don't have to push any harder. But if it's not crazy and you're like, maybe I can go deeper, maybe, then keep pushing. All right. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. That is our butterfly stretch. You doing some downward dog for us? You gonna demo some downward dog for us? Oh, thank you. I can't cuddle with you right now. This is part of the show. I can't train you with bad behavior by enticing you with real pets. Shoo, shoo. I have to be cold to the dog because I need him to recognize that this is the time where I don't pet him so that he doesn't keep coming back so that we can get our show done. Otherwise, I'll just be here petting him and distracted and the show will never finish. All right, that was our second butterfly stretch. We're chilling, we're pausing. We're going to try and shake out our wrists. We're going to try and shake out our legs. We're going to try and flap the wings of our butterfly. And we're going to do this for a little bit. When your legs are feeling good, when they're feeling normal again, we're going to continue and we're going to move on into some standing pancakes. Is it because I wasn't home for a couple of days and you forgot that we trained you? You got so good at this already. Come on, what's going on? No, I can't be using talking to the dog voice. The dog thinks I'm ready to play. No, go over there. All right. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on into our third stretch. It's the standing pancake. All right. The standing pancake looks a little bit like this. We're gonna open up our legs decently wide. Doesn't have to be crazy. If you can get to about 60-ish degrees, that's plenty. All right. If your hips are hurting, if you're feeling a pinching sensation here, we've probably gone a little too far for you, and that's okay. Just bring your legs back in just a little bit until you can do a little grooving, move around in your hips, and we're ready to continue. All right. Next, we're going to fold our belly buttons down to our legs. We're going to go wee. Ugh. As soon as you feel like you get stuck, feel free to stop. This is our starting position. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. The goal of the standing pancake is to bring our upper body basically in between our legs, and it looks something like this. Except you can go even deeper, and I can't get there. But it's a really hard stretch. It's a really hard stretch. So we let gravity do as much as possible to help us. All right. When your body is like this, horizontal, gravity is going to be really pulling at you and pulling you into the ground. If you extend your arms out in front of you like this, it's going to feel even crazier. If you hold something in your hand and you do all the other pieces I talked about, it's going to feel even crazier. So go ahead and do that if you want to get a really deep stretch. We got some other options. You can open up your legs a little bit wider if you want. That's completely optional. And you can also kind of grab your own legs to help actively pull yourself deeper into a deeper stretch. What you want to do is up to you. I encourage you to experiment. And for now, we're ready to begin. Bring the belly button down some more, belly button down some more, belly button down some more. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 2, 1, 0. That's our whole entire stretch. That's a standing pancake. Whew! Breathe, chill for a second, and then bring your feet in together underneath you if you can. All right. That might look like wiggling your toes and your heels into the center of your body a couple of times until your legs are underneath you, and then pushing off of your thighs until you're back up into standing. You might need to waddle a little bit depending on how intensely you got into that stretch. If you got into a really deep open leg position, your inner thighs are probably really tired, right? If you really focused on folding forward, your glutes, your hamstrings might be feeling super tired. The standing pancake has two main areas where you're feeling that intensity, and you get to pick which one you want to suffer the most in. Or I guess you can be fair and balance them out and suffer the most in them equally. That was a weird sentence. We're going to move on into our fourth stretch. Last night, for sure, we did the figure four, so it's time for some pigeon. All right. The fourth stretch is optional in that you got two options. You can either do the figure four or the pigeon stretch. If you're regular, you know exactly what you prefer. Feel free to jump into that version that you like. I'm going to demonstrate and break down the pigeon today, and let's begin. Take your leg, cross it over to the other side. We're lifting the ankle up to the belly button. We're bringing the belly button down to the ankle until we get into this position. Cool? From here, we want to be folding forward. You want to be feeling a stretch here in the side of your hip. This is a glute muscle. The other place you'll probably feel a little bit of something is in your hamstrings. Your leg is going to be rotated up like this, so your hamstrings are here. And you also will probably feel a little bit of something here where you're actually doing the folding at the hip. Cool? Let's drop into some pigeon. Come on down onto the floor. Remember, the leg is across the body. You don't have to come down with one leg being held in your hand because I try to look cool, and you don't have to look cool. I can't see you, right? So once you've got one leg in front, I want you to sort of find your middle line, all right? Between your eyes, down your nose, down to your belly button, this middle line. I want you to take that middle line, and I kind of want you to pin it down to somewhere between your knee and your ankles. If you find kind of a midpoint between your knee and ankles, you go, this is where I want to put that middle line, that will be perfect. Fold forward, fold forward, and if you're feeling that glute stretch that I mentioned earlier, then you're doing it. That's the pigeon. That is everything you need to do to get started. Cool? We got some other optional difficulty things to talk about. You can have your leg extended out to the side. You can have your leg bent off to the side. You can also, and this will make the difficulty a little bit harder, extend your leg back behind you. This is probably the form of the pigeon that you've seen in yoga classes the most, and it is a little bit more difficult because when this leg is going all the way back, you're going to feel a whole bunch of stretch here in your hip, right? And you might also feel a whole bunch of pressure on your knee because of that hip. So to make this position a little bit easier, we got a couple of options. The first thing is stop standing up so straight, or leaning back up so straight. If you stay hunched forward, there's going to be less pressure on that hip to put pressure on your knee. That might make things a little bit easier. Cool? What else can we do? We can also elevate our front leg. All right? Typically, when your front leg is elevated, your hips, unless you're insanely flexible already, are going to come up with you. Okay? And when your hips are higher, your back leg is going to have way more room to hang out underneath you. That means it'll be much easier for you to put your toes underneath. It'll be much easier for you to get your whole leg underneath. It'll be much easier to hang out in this position. All right, it doesn't have to be a stool. You can do this with a coffee table. You can do this with the couch, with your bed, anything that lifts your leg up a little bit and is relatively stable. Cool? All right, that is all the extra details. It's time for us to get into some pigeon. Leg across the body, middle line that we talked about between our eyes and our belly button. Try to line that up with a nice point that you pick between your knee and your ankle. I like to go for about the middle because it feels like it's a good spot for me. For you, it might be a little bit different, but
in general, start with that middle position and experiment afterwards. Cool? All right. Fold forward a little bit. See if you can extend that leg back behind you. Stick your hips down into the ground as low as you can. And fold. Let the belly button come down. Fold, 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 fold. Should be feeling that stretch in your hip building. And I want you to exhale and dissolve into the floor like you're a pile of ice cream in the summer. Cool? Let's go. Sink into the ground. Exhale, 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. I like to grab my big toe. I like to sort of grab my foot that is across the body because I have a tendency of letting the leg relax. And when it relaxes, it's going to slip in towards my groin. When the heel of the foot that's across our body slips into the groin, it's going to make the stretch a little bit easier. And, it's not the end of the world. It's not a big deal. But if you find suddenly the stretch got real easy, it's so comfortable, everything's so nice, you probably had your heel slip in. If you push your heel a little bit closer to your face, everything will feel way harder. And it doesn't even have to go that far. Like 1 centimeter, half an inch is plenty. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Keep breathing. On the exhale, see if you can relax, sink a little deeper into your stretch. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that is our stretch. Oh, that's our pigeon. We're going to pause for a second. We're gonna switch legs. Pull that other leg in. Swap the other leg out. Come on back up. And remember, we're trying to keep the hips low. Extend the leg back behind you. Fold forward. Sink into the floor. Melt into the floor. And let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. If you're a regular and you've done a bunch of these, you can try to straighten out your back instead of keeping it rounded like I have been demonstrating. And when you straighten out your back, suddenly the way leverage works is going to feel crazy on that butt. All right? Whew. Take advantage. Enjoy it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. That's everything. Whew. I feel like we might not have spent nearly as much time on the second leg as we did the first leg, so I'm sorry. But hopefully, you got enough out of that stretch that you're like, I don't care. Please do less time. We're gonna move on into our fifth and final stretch. All right, for everybody, we do this show every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Sunday. And the reason we do that is to build a little bit of consistency. Hip mobility, side splits, those are also great, but the real meaningful thing that we're trying to build is some consistency because that is when the results show up and that is when change happens, right? Doing one round of these workouts for most people won't change very much, but doing a couple weeks, doing a couple months, that is when the changes stack up. Cool? If you like side splits, if you like hip mobility, if you want a little bit of help practicing consistency, because I'm here trying to make this show a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more fun while we suffer together, then please make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back at 9 p.m. We have people who have little calendar notifications. Ooh, a moth got in. We have people who set alarms and reminders on their phones. So don't feel bad about going out of your way to make sure that you're here because this is how we practice consistency. Cool? All right, we're going to move on to some side splits. Come on up into standing. We're finally off the ground. Shake out your legs. If you're feeling a little rusty, we're going to get into a way harder territory. So shake it off. Put your butt up against the wall. Your whole entire back is leaning against the wall right now. Okay? I want you to take half a step forward, a little tiny baby step forward. And then I want you to open up your legs so that we can start our side split stuff. Before we get deep into the side split, I want you to grab a little bit of something to use as support. If you have a small stool, if you have a chair, if you have an ottoman, if you have a coffee table, feel free to grab those, pull those over, and get that ready because we're going to get into a position that looks a little bit like this. Okay? Hopefully, we'll be able to get a little bit deeper, and a little bit deeper, and a little bit deeper. But for now, just get yourself some hand support to make it a little easier to stay upright and help you stay in control of your stretch. Cool? Next, we are going to get ready to get some side splits. All right. If your legs are so wide that your hips are starting to hurt right now, stop, bring your legs in just a little bit. Cool. If your hips are okay, you're able to do a little bit of a wiggle, you're pretty happy with how wide they are already, we're ready to fold. All right. Fold your belly button down to the ground. Whee! If you can stick your hands on the ground, you can palm the ground from where you're at. You probably don't need the hand support, but if you want to use one anyway, especially if it's your first time on the show, use one anyway. And if you just, want to use it, feel free to use the hand support. Cool? From here, I want you to see if you can drop a little bit deeper into the stretch. When you're folded forward, it should be a little bit easier on your hips to get into a wider position without discomfort. And we're going to take this to the next level and make sure it doesn't come back. All right? We're going to rotate this leg so that it goes backwards 90 degrees. Right now, the knees are kind of pointing forward towards you guys. We're going to go boom. Now have the knees pointing straight up into the sky. Our toes are up, our heels are down, and our knees are pointing up. We're going to do the same thing on both sides. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Now that we are in this position, your heels should be down. I want you to lean your butt against the wall. I want you to have your hands on your hand support or on the floor, depending on how deep you are in your stretch. And I want you to find a nice, comfortable position. Shift around, wiggle, squirm. Find a nice, strong, comfortable position for you to hang out in. Cool? The reason why we're doing this is because when you're nervous, when you're scared, when you feel like you're about to fall, when you're all stressed out, your muscles are going to stay tense, right? When they're tense, they're not going to be relaxed. They're not going to let you get into a deeper side split. You're going to be fighting yourself the whole time. So we have the wall behind us, resting our butt against it to make sure we can't fall backwards. So we have a little bit less burden on our bodies. We have our hands underneath our hips on some hand support to help us find a nice and comfortable position to get into so there isn't too much pressure on your legs. So you can control how much pressure is on your legs by pushing more or less with your arms. Cool? Now that you are here, we're going to breathe. We're going to see if we can relax a little bit. All right? We're going to take a big breath in. Inhale. Exhale and relax. See if you can sink a little tiny bit deeper into your stretch. One more. Inhale. Relax. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. Whew. Now, if you're ready for more, you can stop any time, by the way. I want you to try to add a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, and see if you can get just a tiny bit deeper. If you can, you're doing great. Your butt is sliding down along the wall. We are ready to get into our side splits. All right? Right now, if your knees, your toes are pointing up, and the top of your head is pointing up, you're in a perfect position. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Add a little wiggle from side to side so you can get a little bit deeper anytime that you feel like it's possible. 24, 23, 22, 21. Keep breathing. Relax. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. Walk your hands forward. Oh, slowly pull your legs in. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. That is our first side split. Come into some sort of relaxing, chilling, kneeling position. Breathe, catch your breath. Grunt, groan, as many sound effects as you want. And we're going to get into some relaxy stuff. We're going to shake out the tension. We're going to try and get all this tension out of our legs so that we can get into a deeper side split number 2. All right. You might not know this because I probably forgot to tell you, but we're doing 3 rounds of side splits. And it's not like everything else where we just did 1 round and we moved on. So let's get ready to shake out the tension so we can get to side split number 2. Shake out your ankles. Take a look at them.
Give them a light flop, a little wiggle, a little shake. Let them relax. And if you find that it's comfortable, up the level. Shake a little harder. Go a little wider. Go a little bit deeper in that range of motion. And keep going. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Whew. Put your foot down. Take a couple steps on that leg. Does it feel better than when you were getting out of your side splits? It should, but if it doesn't, then maybe you want to shake some more. We're going to move on to the other leg though. Shake it out the other leg. Focus on the ankles. Shake, 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 shake some more. Shakety, shake, 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 shakety, shake, 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 shake. The reason why we shake out the ankles is because when our ankles are going to all these crazy places, right? All the muscles have to be relaxed in order to let us get the leg or get the ankle over to that place, right? What we want is relaxation, as much of it as possible. And this is how we're putting it together. We're shaking out our legs. We're forcing you to see that your ankle's going, and then you know, hey, my legs must be relaxed enough for my ankle to go do that crazy thing. So we should be relaxed. Next, we're going to move on into our hips. Cool? I want you to put all your weight into one leg. I want you to put the big toe of the other leg down on the ground so that you're in kind of this shape. All right? I want you to focus on bringing the knee in so that the knees are almost touching. I want you to bring that knee back out and in and out and in and out. If you're a beginner on this show, if this is your first couple of times joining, really focus on getting that maximum range of motion. Bring the knee all the way in, bring the knee all the way out, and building some strength and some control along the whole range of motion. Cool? Let's go ahead, switch to the other side. All your weight on one leg, big toe is down, knee in and out, and 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 in and out. Whew! Do a couple more shakes. Do a little dance, a little shimmy, relax, and let's get into side split number 2. Butt up against the wall, take half a step forward, open up those legs. Let's begin. Make sure your hips do not hurt. If they do, bring your legs back in just a little bit. Make sure your hips are able to do a little wiggle, a little dance, and we're ready to begin to fold. Belly button to the ground. Whee! Ugh. As soon as you get stuck, see if you can palm the floor. If you can palm the floor, you might not need any hand support, but for most of us, you're probably going to want to hold on to something. I have a small stool that was 12 bucks from Amazon. Nothing fancy. If you have a stack of old encyclopedias, if you got a stack of textbooks, if you have a small ottoman, a small step stool, if you have I don't know, a coffee table or a chair, you can make those work. Cool? All right. Now, rest your butt against the wall, hands on your step stool. Pull everything a little bit closer to your body. Pull everything closer to your wall and slowly open up your legs a little bit. The dog is turning around because my feet keep on making the crazy loud farting sounds. And his head is resting on the floor. He's like, "You're so loud. You're so loud. You're so loud. You're so loud." All right. From here, we're going to rotate our legs. And we're going to get the heels down, the toes up, the knees up. All right. Heels down, toes up, knees up. This is for making sure our thigh bones and our hip bones don't smash into each other. So it's really important. Please do it. From here, we're going to breathe. We're going to relax. We're going to try and sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. All right. So right now, your butt should be against the wall. Your hands should be pretty close to touching your hips, if not touching your hips actively. And you are using your support to keep yourself in control, keeping yourself feeling comfortable, because we want you to feel safe. All right. Inhale. Exhale. Relax. See if you can sink a little deeper into that stretch. Inhale. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little deeper into the stretch. If you're feeling confident, you think you can go get a little bit more, do a little lean to the right, little lean to the left, little lean to the right, little lean to the left, and we're ready to go. In the previous version of the stretch, our knees and our toes were pointing straight up, our head was pointing straight up into the ceiling, and we were hanging out in this version of the stretch where you probably felt it a little bit more in your hamstrings. This time around, I want you to walk your hands forward just a little bit, so it looks like you're about to do a push-up. Your hips should fold forward and rotate with you, so that your knees are kind of pointing up at a 45-ish, 60-degree-ish angle. This is going to emphasize the stretch in the inner thigh, and we need both of those, so let's go. 30, 29, 28. Feel free to add a couple more wiggles to see if you can get just a little bit deeper as you go. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward. Oh, bring your legs in underneath you. That is our second side split. Whew. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. Oh. And when you're ready, we're going to come back into standing and get into our shaky so that we can get into side split number 3. Cool? Come on up. Oh, one step at a time. Oh, and let's go. Shakety shake, 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 shake. Shake out those ankles. Shake, 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 shake. If you're just somehow joining in, the reason why we shake out our ankles is to make sure our muscles are relaxed. If your ankles are flopping to crazy places, the muscles that would otherwise hold it back from going to those crazy places have to be relaxed because it's going to those crazy places, right? I kind of said that sentence in a very convoluted way, so if that doesn't make sense, let me know, I guess. We're going to keep on shaking out the legs and take a couple of steps now. Hopefully, your legs are already feeling better because you've shaken out a whole bunch of tension. And if you want to add in a couple of quick knee bends, get a little bit more of a calf stretch, and we're going to move on into our hips. All your weight is in one leg, big toe is down on the other side. Rotate the knee in and out, and 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 in and out. Whew. Other side. All your weight on one leg, big toe is down, in, out, in, out. If you're new to the live, really focus on that full range of motion. Bring those knees so that they're almost touching, opening out that hip so that this knee is pointed straight out, that away. Oh, and as you get more comfortable with this, as you build up some control and some strength, you can start going faster. You can start shaking, and we'll turn it into a relaxing move real soon. Okay? Until then, we're done with that shaky stuff. Let's move on into side split number 3. Butt up against the wall, take half a step forward, one step, open up those legs, make sure your hips don't hurt, and let's fold. Bring the belly button down to the ground. Stick your hands down on the ground. If you can reach the ground, you might not need any hand support, but for most of us, you probably want something like a small stool, some textbooks, some yoga blocks, a coffee table, an ottoman, something that you can lean into, that you can kind of move around for support, and will keep you stable. Cool? All right, from here, see if you can drop your legs a little bit wider. And then we're going to scoop everything up to the wall. All right? Butt against the wall, hands right next to your hips, and hands on your hand support. Cool? From here, once you found a nice, stable, comfortable spot, I want you to rotate your legs so that the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. I can't tell. I'm too far away from the camera to see if you can see my feet doing this thing, but I just came up higher so you can. Heels down, toes up, knees up. Heels down, toes up, knees up. And once you are here, you're in your side split. Now all we gotta do is drop a little lower. All right? I want you to find that comfortable, stable, supported position between your hands on the stool, your butt against the wall, and however you are positioning your feet to find a comfortable position for you. From here, we're gonna breathe. Inhale, relax, sink a little deeper. Inhale, relax, sink a little deeper. And if you're ready for more, you can do a little lean to the right, little lean to the left, little lean to the right, little lean to the left. Whew, we are ready for side split number 3. You got options. You can do the first thing that we did where our knees and our toes are pointing straight up, our head is pointing straight up. You can do the second one that we did where we kind of walked our hands forward, got into a push-up looking position. Our knees are kind of angled at like a 45-degree, so you feel the stretch in your inner thighs. Do whatever makes you happy, and let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, we're almost done. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Oh, pull your legs in underneath you. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. Crawl around on the floor. Bring everything back together into some sort of comfortable-ish position, and we're going to shake, 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 relax. But all the hard stuff is done. All right, that was all the challenging, crazy stuff. Now it's time to chill out, do some joint checks, and then we'll look at the chat, do some Q&A. Cool. All right, slowly come back up into standing. Ooh, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to, and let's shake out those ankles. Shake, 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 shake some more. The more you get shaking into your regular regimen of, I don't know, training, the quicker, faster, easier it will be for your muscles to relax. What we're doing right now is basically training our brain to relax on command, kind of. It might take a little bit of shaking, but outside of the shaking, you're gonna relax faster and faster and faster and faster, and that's what we want, so that you can reset and get loose, so that you can go do other stuff right away. All right. Whew. Shake out your legs, shake them out some more, and hopefully, if you take a couple of steps, you're feeling already a lot better. Do a little dance move, throw those hips around, put that hip mobility we've been working on to work. Next, we're gonna move on into our hips. All right, all your weight is in one leg, big toe is, all your weight is in one leg, big toe, the other leg is down. We're bringing the knee in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. Other leg in and out and in and out and in and out. When you get really comfortable with that in and out motion, once you build up some strength in your hips, you build up some control, we can focus on speed. All right. If all of your weight is in one leg and there's no weight on this leg, it's just basically floating. It's just down for support. The thigh muscles are not going to kick in. They're not going to work very hard. This is benefit because when you start shaking your legs real fast from side to side, we're still using the same muscles, right? In, out. But when you start changing the direction real fast and stop going so far, your thigh muscles are going to turn into jello. They're going to flop all over the place because they're not flexing right now, because they're not supporting very much weight. Cool. So that's the fun sort of end goal that you can get to. Shake, 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 shake. Shake out your thighs, and hopefully, once you kind of add that into the rest of the shaky, 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 you got some relaxed legs. All right. Take a couple of steps, make sure everything is feeling good. We're going to move on into some joint checks. All right. I want you to slowly come into some hip circles. Oh, take your time. Go one direction, go the other direction. If anything feels like it needs some extra love, some extra attention, feel free to hang out there, chill. After the side splits, I tend to feel it in the left and right side of the hip, and so I like to get into this really extended, leaned over position and just hang out here for a little bit. If you feel like you got something similar going on, feel free to spend some time there. All right. Otherwise, high knee on each side, and we're going to do some calf raises from a squat position. This is the last thing, I promise. We're going to do some calf raises, but we're going to drop into a squat first. I want you to have your feet hips width apart, not wide, not super close, about hips width apart. And then come on down the ground. From the side, I want it to look a little bit like this. I want you to almost have your head leaning way far forward, like you're about to topple over. And I want you to push your knees past your toes so that you're extra feeling like you're about to topple over, because so much of your center of mass is way over that way. All right. The reason we want this is because it's going to force your toes to grip the floor real hard to keep you stable. And if your toes are working real hard, the arch of your foot should also kick in to help keep you really, really stable on the ground, because the rest of you is just leaning way too far forward, and the foot is the only thing that can save you. Okay. From here, we're going to stick our hands down on the ground. We're going to do some calf raises. Come on up. Bring those heels up as high as you can. You can use the floor for support as much as you want. If you want to skip it, feel free to skip it. If you need to hold on to something in addition to the floor, feel free to use something else. All right. Once you've done enough of these, your calves are ready to quit, and you're like, ugh, my legs are not working again. We're ready to stop. What we just did was force our toes to grip into the floor, force our foot muscles to help stay super stable. We put our Achilles tendon into a nice crazy stretch by pushing our knees past our toes. Our deeper calf muscle got into a nice stretch, and you can tell by poking at your legs when you get into that position. The more outside calf muscle is probably pretty loose, but the deeper lower down calf muscle is probably really tense. From here, probably had your quads burning. If you were leaning forward and trying to keep your back straight, your low back was probably burning. And we had some calf raises and some squats. So your hips, your knees, your ankles, your feet, they were all working really hard trying to get you properly not collapsing on the floor in a heap. And if you're able to do most of that, right, chances are your joints are pretty good. And you can go back to doing whatever you have to do for the rest of the day. Cool. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing consistency, working on your side splits, working on your hip mobility today. I appreciate you. This live is all about building consistency. We obviously do side splits and hip mobility work, but deep down in the back of your head, I want you to recognize that you are someone who can build consistency, that you are someone who is consistent. And that is the magic skill you can take and do whatever you want with, because you can do anything that you want. Cool. All right. Is there anything else I need to say? I'm trying to think. Um, no, I make some other content. Most of the content is around adding a little bit of fitness into your life, but not treating it as if, it's like a huge, big obligation that you have to go to. So it doesn't feel so much like a burden. Um, if you have 2 minutes while you're waiting for your microwave to heat up leftovers, if you got 2 minutes, you're waiting in line at the cash register at Costco, if you've got a couple minutes where you're waiting for your coffee to come out of the machine, those are perfect, tiny little opportunities you otherwise probably would have just been doom scrolling with that you can spend doing a little bit of exercise, right? If you use some of the exercises that we did today, like the Cossack switch, some crazy calf raises, some hip cars, those will help you move better. Those will get your blood pumping. Those will get you energized for whatever else you got to do for the rest of the day, and it'll be really good for your joints. Cool. True Blue 23323 says, I really appreciate you taking time out to explain why and how to do the moves. Good. Amazing. Because, part of me is really trying to keep the show short so that we can get through as much content as fast as possible, so it's easier for people to stay consistent with. But I appreciate that you like the explanations. I tried to also make the live information full enough that somebody coming in for the first time can feel like they can just hop right in. And it's really hard to balance those two things, to like try and get the show done, but also make it welcoming enough so that somebody would be like, oh, I can do this, and just jump right in. So thank you for letting me know that you appreciate the explanations and stuff. Alex 400 says, W Ken vibes. Is this a better W? Is this a better W? Because this is definitely the easier W. Thanks, Alex. Shiraz says, thank you, Ken. Chevelle says, thank you, Ken. I was a bit late today, but I finished it. Good night, everyone. Awesome. Thank you all for being here. I hope you had fun. I hope you're feeling good and accomplished, because you just checked off another imaginary little check mark in the back of your head to prove that you are super ultra consistent. All of you who have, said thank you at the end are definitely super ultra consistent. So I hope you truly deep down believe that you're super ultra consistent people, and you can go apply all the cool consistency things we talk about into your other cool things you want to do. Chow Mein says, how long are we at home supposed to be doing this for? This live runs for about an hour. A lot of that is because I talk a lot and I explain a lot of stuff, trying to make sure that people know what we're doing and why we're doing it, so that you kind of understand the movement, so that even if you only show up one time, you take away something from the live. But if you do this live 3 or 4 times a week, that's probably plenty to get most of the benefit. There is some science out there that says if you hang out in a stretched position for about 5 minutes per week, you're going to have some results from that stretching. You'll be able to get a little bit deeper into the stretch, assuming you can recover, and you sleep well and you rest well and all the other good stuff, right? But if you do 3 or 4 lives of this live a week,
you definitely hit the 5 minutes. You probably aren't there at three because I talk so long and I hang out in some of these positions while I'm explaining stuff, and I go on little tangents in our conversations. Let me just double check the dog's not right behind me so I can scoot further from the phone. Um, that you can probably get that 5 minutes in about 3 minutes of, or three sessions of our live. That does mean that if you're hanging out for the whole live, it ends up being about an hour per session, an hour and 10 minutes per session, because we're at an hour and 12 minutes now, and we're deep in the Q and A. So it ends up being about 3 hours a week. But if you don't got that kind of time, I have a version of this video that has no explanation and almost no talking. I think it's just powering through exactly 30 seconds of every exercise so that you hit the minimum necessary for our 5 minute thing over on YouTube. And I can't remember what that video is called. It's been a while since I made it. It's an outdoors video. It's probably like 15 to 20 minutes long, and you can get through most of this workout in about 20 minutes. As long as you're super focused on just getting the exercises done. Because that video doesn't have explanations, hopefully you were here long enough to hear most of why we do the things that we do, and so you know what you're trying to do. Uh, Hold on. And then what else? What else? What else? What else? But yeah, those are your other options. If you were to do that version of the show, then you'd be done in about 20 minutes. And if you do that 3 times a week, it might be only an hour. Cool. Um, Generally, this show is designed to help us stay consistent and practice staying consistent. And part of that is showing up every day, hanging out, hoping to sort of feel like there's a little bit of community behind what we're doing, that it's not just us doing it by ourselves in our bedrooms or in our homes. But if you're able to stay super consistent just watching the long form videos, more power to you. You can probably do anything. That's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. What else we got? MCV says, thanks, Ken. True Blue says, good night. And I'm gonna scroll back up, see what else we got. There's still 30 something people on the live, so let's see if there's some questions from earlier. Tereth sending good vibes to Chevelle, and Lazum says just watching, had dinner late. I know that feeling. There are so many dinners that I have had where I had to say, nope, I have to stop right now. I can't finish, even though I want to eat more, because I know I have to keep myself relatively functional for this live. So there's like this subtle other benefit of making sure I show up at 9 o'clock and being able to like exercise, and that is, it is magic for portion control. Because I know if I eat too much, I'll be like, ugh, and then I'll be like burping and stuff all throughout the live. That has happened. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't watch back the videos, but occasionally I'm just like, one of the, I think maybe the pigeon, because we're so forward folded and we're like, my head is down or something. I don't know. I feel like that one makes me always want to burp a little bit afterwards. I hope that's not too gross, but now you know. Occasionally, if I pause for a second, is because I'm trying to hold back a burp, or I'm trying to hold back a sneeze, or I have forgotten what I want to say next because I was thinking about something else and I don't know how to continue. It's one of those three things. Oftentimes, it's because I was about to burp, or I'm actively burping, and I just don't know if the microphones in the ears pick it up. So now you know a little bit of the behind the scenes. Uh, but yes, having the 9 p.m. live really forces me to be very thoughtful about when I stop eating and how much food I am going to eat. Because there are lots of times when there's a lot of leftovers, that I'm like, oh, I'll clean it up for everybody, and then yeah, I can't do that anymore because otherwise I won't be able to move. And it says, hi, puppy dog. Yes, yes, yes. He's gone though now. Luigi says, hi, Ken. Charles actually says, dog. Becca says, yo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glasses, you have YouTube channel, please. Yes, I do have YouTube channel. It's the same exact username as TikTok, so it's splits on the side, all one word. And pretty much every single live that we do that doesn't get messed up by bad Wi-Fi or something is also uploaded to YouTube. So you can go to like the profile, my profile on YouTube, and there should be like videos, shorts, streams. The lives all fall under streams, and you'll basically see 1 or 2 videos per day for hundreds of days now. So you can go check the whole entire catalog if you want. But we do this live every single day, so there's really no reason for you to go watch the old ones if you can just show up and come to the live ones. What else? That's what's on the YouTube channel. I make other long form YouTube content that's not side splits related. It's mostly like random fitness, fitness tangential, working on knees and hips and mobility-ish stuff. I would like to move into a little bit of strength and calisthenics content because I want to get stronger. So that will start coming in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, that's what the YouTube channel is all about. You can go find it. It's called Splits on the Side. So it's the same exact username. Oh, Chareth wrote same name at Splits on the Side. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Glass asked the question a bunch of times. Okay, thank you. And Chareth answered a bunch of times. Thank you. Cutie says, I fell back. I wonder what I was stretching when you fell backwards. It is very common to fall backwards. And I don't say this enough in the most recent couple of lives, but the wall is your best friend. And we want to take advantage of the fact that the wall is always behind us, so you can always rest your butt against it, so that you have that extra little bit of support, so that you fall back less, or at least when you fall back, it's not so scary. What else? What else? What else? What else? Mayhen sends a thumbs up. Hi, Mayhen. I don't know. I don't know what HNP stands for. So I'm gonna keep scrolling. We got a bunch more thumbs up. We got hip cars. Does that help the sacroiliac joint? I, I don't know. I don't think it does, but I don't know. Travel Darcy says, "Woo, hello." Quincy says, "This shit burn good." I'm glad. I feel like that must be. What could that be? I feel like this seems like it's pretty early in the life, so maybe that was the hip cars. The hip cars are definitely really rough. They are not fun at all because you're working on a whole bunch of these tiny little weak muscles and you're trying to use them to bring your whole leg up. They're not tiny and they're not weak because they're physically like supposed to be tiny and weak. It's just that, we don't use a lot of our leg muscles very often, and relative to a lot of our other limbs, our leg bones, our leg mass is relatively heavy. So if you don't use those muscles, now you have to have kind of weak muscles just lifting your whole leg into crazy positions. It's not easy. It's hard. And that is what makes hip cars really, really, really cool, because there's always a little bit more room for improvement. When you can only lift your knee up in the front this high before your leg is about to start cramping, that's as high as you can lift. That's it. But as you get stronger, as you get more experience in this movement, maybe you'll find your knee goes a little higher, or a little higher, or a little higher, or a little. Okay, that's about it. I can't go any higher than that. And it's the same with all the other angles, right? We're trying to build mobility and control at the same time. When you flex those muscles real hard, you're feeling some of them getting stretched out. You're fighting yourself. You're able to lift your legs into crazy places. You're getting stronger. You're suffering, and hopefully you develop some control and you get more and more and more of it as you go. Cool. All right. I think that is most of the live. Parker on YouTube said hi, and I said hi back earlier. Miracle Love sends waves, and then I don't know what that means. Somebody asked me to touch my toes. I don't know. I saw that coming really early. I wonder if they just wanted to know if I had enough flexibility to be worth listening to. You're talking about mobility, but you can't even touch your toes. Um, I can touch my toes if that wasn't obvious. Okay, I think we are done. I think that's all of the chat. Che, thank you for being here. Alec, thank you for being here. I think that's everything. Thank you so much one last time, everybody, for coming in, practicing consistency, working on your side splits, working on your hip mobility, working on your consistency. I hope you had fun. I hope you're feeling a little bit more relaxed because we pretty much wrapped like 15 minutes ago. And so you've got a lot of time to cool off. I hope to see you guys all soon because we're live again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, which means an hour and 21 minutes ago, but tomorrow. And I hope to see you there. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back, set alarms, set timers, set calendars, all those things. Cool. I'm closing out.